Welcome to your medical and motivation account. This is your dashboard, and this is where you're taken every single time that you log in. So we're just going to jump right on in and head on over to My Appointment. So if you've already familiarized yourself with the Before My Appointment section, you've probably done some really good work preparing for your appointment. You know knowledge is power, and the more you understand and the more that you're willing to be open to, you know that it's going to make for a more successful appointment. So in preparing for your appointment, you'll already know what you're in for, who the practitioner is, what type of practitioner you're dealing with, where the appointment is, what day and what time. I also, in my last video with the Before My Appointment section, double dog dared you just for a few times to try to get into the habit of writing down any single question that comes to your mind for that appointment. I know that sometimes you'll get these questions that come to mind that seem so brilliant or so obvious that there is no way that you could possibly forget it. However, generally when you're going into an appointment, there's this sneaky thing that your brain does, and that is basically erasing every single smart thing that you've thought in your lifetime. So by writing it down, you have it in case you forget it. As well, you're also reinforcing and remembering it by writing it down. So it's this win-win situation. Now, before your appointment, it could be really obvious what you're feeling. You could be feeling really excited, really nervous, really anxious, and then there's times where you don't really think that you're having, any kind of strong feeling towards your appointment. And so in those times, and just in general, I think it's really important to at least take 60 seconds just to reflect on how you're feeling about that appointment. You might not realize that you're feeling more closed off than you thought, and your mindset is really going to steer the direction of your appointment and how you're going to be navigating it. And you want to make sure that you're giving yourself the best chance. So what you can do, one of two things, is if you're feeling one very strong feeling, you can go in and just be honest about it right from the get-go. Doctor, whoever, I'm feeling really nervous about this. And that might open up a really interesting conversation. And the practitioner might put your mind at ease about it. And sometimes, depending on your mood, you might decide, okay, I'm feeling really closed off, but I don't think that that's really going to help how my appointment goes. So I might just fake confidence until I make it, right? And it's going to be different for every person and every appointment, but really try to take that time to reflect on how you're feeling so that you are giving yourself the best chance and the best possible you for that appointment. Now, there are certain triggers that people can have, and you really there's a lot kind of at stake when you're going through the healthcare system. And so you obviously want to be giving yourself the best chance at staying on your game and getting the most out of that appointment. And sometimes a smell can throw you off, or a sound, or even a person. So thinking about those triggers beforehand and even talking to your healthcare team or your support network about how you want to navigate those triggers so that they don't throw you off your game could be really helpful. For me, the biggest problem growing up was going into surgery, and the anesthetic mask really scared me. And I just couldn't get over that psychological trigger that I was really having. And so once I just decided to say to the anesthesiologist, you know what? I really don't want to wear that mask. Is there anything that we can be doing instead of that? And ultimately, there was. They decided to do the anesthetic through the IV and hold a tube over my face that was giving me oxygen. And that was a lot less daunting. And that was something that I asked for every single time afterwards. So I was really happy that I brought it up to the team, because sometimes there's something to do about it and sometimes there isn't, but you gotta ask for your own sake. Also, there might have been something that you needed to take responsibility for before your appointment. That could be changing your diet for a while, that could be logging some aspect of your life. So you want to make sure that you've done that before, and also be aware and understanding of what your responsibility is after the appointment. What has your practitioner given you to do? What homework? What tasks? And the best way to make sure that you are doing exactly what you need to do to give yourself the best chance is even saying at the end of the appointment, okay, so just going over, this is what I heard you say that you want me to do. Is that right? And then clarity is right there. And there's very little chance of miscommunication. Now, one feature that I really, really, really wanted to bring to all of you was the opportunity to upload video or audio files of your appointment. However, I want to make this so clear to you guys that when you do a recording of your appointment, whether it's video or audio, there has to be permission gotten from your practitioner. And so that's going to start at the very beginning of the appointment, because you can't be recording it when the other person doesn't consent. There are a lot of different reasons why it would be so helpful for you to have that recording. It could be because you already know that you could get emotional for this particular appointment. And in getting emotional, it makes it really difficult to focus and remember, whether it's the big facts or the little facts. So being able to have that recording to listen to as many times as you need to afterwards to process that information, and even in a safe place like cuddled up on the couch, can be such a great tool. Also, if your support network can't be with you at that appointment, what you can do is send them the recording of your appointment. That gives them the opportunity to get the information firsthand, and also not have you potentially color the information. And I'm not saying that anybody would do this on purpose, but it's really amazing how your emotions can change your perspective about what somebody has said or implied. So being able to send that information off to your support network and get their 2 cents about it, and also have them support you in what you want to do next based on who you are and what works for you, is really helpful. Also, I think it's really helpful for the practitioners because you can stay in the moment and not have to worry about getting these really technological terms down, and these measurements and all these numbers that you're not familiar with. Because if you're worried about trying to get all these details that you hope will make sense at one point, you're not able to stay in the moment and ask questions based on where the conversation is going. And again, listening to it afterwards, you'll remember that you asked this question already, or you'll realize that there's another question to ask. So if you do make contact with your practitioner afterwards, you can cover new ground, and you're not calling or contacting your practitioner to talk about something that's already discussed. Everybody has a really busy schedule these days, so making the most out of your appointment and making sure that the conversation is new and helpful is really great. So get the permission of your practitioner, and I really hope that this tool has become invaluable to you. It has for me, and I've used it so many different times, and not only has it helped me, it's helped my practitioners, and it's helped my family members. So I wanted to give you that opportunity, and as always, I'd love to hear from you. If you have any questions, give us a call or send us an email, and I wish you good health.